Okay, so we'd like to welcome you to Quilt Show Reno Live. We have Michelle Crawford and Keegan from Going Batty Quilt Shop up in Reno. So we're going to start off with Keegan since he's on the road. He literally is pulled over so that he can do this interview. So Keegan, you own Going Batty now, I hear.
Yes, me and my wife, we purchased Going Batty July 1st of last year, 2024. So it's been a fun 9 months or so getting back into the swing of things and kind of reviving a shop and an area that was kind of dead for a lot of people in the sewing community in Northern Nevada. So we're really excited that it has been revived and a lot more excitement in the store. So
Perfect. Okay, so if the locals here in Reno and the surrounding areas, what would you say would be the number one thing that sets your shop aside from the others? Like, why do I want to come to your shop? Because every shop is different.
education and support, because I feel that where we excel and shine is we teach. When I say we, I mean me and a small other group of instructors, but teach a wide variety of classes to help support machine purchases as well as machine upgrades. The inspiration that you receive from classes and the camaraderie with other students is unmatched when you're trying to go at it, do different techniques and expand your sewing horizons. And so I feel like the classes that we offer and the support that we offer with each sale, even whether they've purchased a machine at our store or not, in learning how to use their machine to its fullest potential, sets us apart from everyone else. So
Perfect. And I know that's a huge issue. I know that a lot of times people buy machines and then they get home and they're overwhelmed. So
correct.
support is huge.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's hard to find a machine shop, a shop that sells machines that also offers the support. And then
Yes.
you were telling me earlier, which I think is great because I know I have a shop here in Northern Nevada, so you hear all what goes on, and I know that I personally have a Bernina, but I didn't buy it from you necessarily because I bought it 30 years ago when I lived in the Bay Area. But
Right.
are you willing to service my machines or the machines that
Absolutely.
aren't purchased from you?
Absolutely. So we're not clicky. We don't care where you
Yeah,
purchased your machine and whether it's a Bernina or not for classes or service. And so we have two fully trained on staff technicians that are full time in our store, and they are Bernina certified and are do how we have about a 3 week turnaround time, which is pretty fast
yeah.
in our area. And so and we keep all the parts on in stock and everything like that for the more common parts that you would need for replacement on your machine. So absolutely, we're definitely willing to do that.
Perfect. And you specialize in Berninas, but you can service any machine.
That is correct. Yeah. So we specialize in Bernina, selling and maintenance and support and classes on those, which I think also sets us apart because we are the Bernina experts in the area because we're the only ones when with Quilt House retiring, we're the only ones that are just exclusively Bernina. And so for supporting those that are Bernina users, we have the best instruction for that. So,
Perfect. Okay, so I'm excited. You guys are sponsoring a classroom with Bernina machines
yep, several
at Quilt
classes.
Show Reno. And then I hear you're going to have specials. Do you want to tell us about this? Well, tell us everything that you're doing at Quilt Show Reno.
Yeah, so we are having a Going Batty Carnival in our booth. So we have a very large booth this year right at the front doors. We'll have all of our machines and long arms set up for demonstration. We'll have four demonstrations, but three make and takes in our booth. The one demonstration is on the long arm machines, and we'll have three of them set up in our booth to quilts for charity. So we have several quilt tops that we're making or have been made that we are going to quilt and then donate to charity. around northern Nevada, and then 3 make and takes, one on the serger, one on the embroidery machines, and one just pure sewing. When people come to our booth and play the games and participate in all of the make and takes, then they are entered to win a machine that's valued at $2,000. So that's really great. That drawing will be on Saturday afternoon after the show ends, but we'll have several different mini prize drawings throughout all the 3 days of the show. And then we'll have 20 machines in the classrooms. All of them are 7 series machines, 735s, 770 Quilters editions, and 790 Pro machines. Just kind of a mix between all 3 of those. And all of those will be available at below advertisable prices and include 3-year extended warranties, as well as other free gifts depending on which machine that you're interested in.
Wow, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to, if they're locals, they could kind of come down and get a sneak peek at the shop ahead of time and let you know if they were interested or in the market to buy a machine. They could get their name, maybe do a deposit or something and get their name on a machine.
Yes, so several of the machines, I think about 7 or 8 of the machines already have deposits on them. So if you are in the market for a new machine, a larger mid to top of the line Bernina sewing or an embroidery machine, I would recommend coming down to the store and talking to me or one of our many capable trained Bernina staff to find the machine that works for you. And regardless of if it's one of those 3 specific models, you're more than welcome to put a deposit down to be able to get show pricing on those machines ahead of time and receive the machines at the show.
Perfect. Okay, so they really want to make sure that they stop by the booth with the intention to spend a little bit of time in your booth so that they can take advantage of the carnival themed activities that you have going on, which I'm super excited to see how you're going to pull that off. I mean, a lot of
when I do, no, I was kidding.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm excited. And they want to make sure that they plan enough time for the 3 make and takes.
Yeah, so each of the 3 make and takes will take a total of 20 to 25 minutes for each person to complete, and we'll have multiple machines that are set up for each of those individual projects of each style. So,
and that's a first come first serve basis. So they're going to want to make sure they get there bright and early in the morning and
that is
take
correct.
Advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean everyone wants to win a free machine, right? So,
well, I do.
Yeah, so come on down, Beth. You'll be the first one. You can get in the doors before it opens. No,
right.
So, yeah, everybody come on down, and then we'll be able to show you exactly why Berninas are the best machines on the market. And we are excited to tell everyone about our service and classes and everything, and have our brand new newsletter that will be released at the show as well. So,
okay, and I know that you've talked about machine classes. But do you also offer classes on projects, sewing projects, quilting projects, not just necessarily quilts, machine related, but project related?
Of course, yeah. So most of the classes that we usually offer the machine related classes as far as the guide classes about twice or 2 to 3 times a month. But the other classes are every single day, whether it be on the serger, embroidery, sewing, quilting, or garment sewing. We have you covered for sure.
Perfect. And you do have a website. Do you want to just let us know what your website is?
Yeah, our website is goingbatty.com, GOINGBATTY.com. And all of our classes are listed there.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. We're just really excited to be back I grew up in this area. I mean, I grew up as a little kid watching you, Beth, go to shows and set up in your Hummer. Do you still have that Hummer?
You know what? I have 2 now. I love them so much. We have 2.
I always remembered that. And so I'm really excited to be back in the Northern Nevada community and adding, along with all of y'all to our wonderful creators out there. So
perfect. I'm super excited that you're taking this on. It's quite an undertaking. My son also has come to work for us, so it's kind of
oh, that's
exciting
awesome.
to see. Yeah, and then Jared with Sierra Sewing. It's really exciting to see because all you guys were little, over the years, and to see you guys mature into young adults and young men and now not so young men.
Yes, sewing is a man's sport too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Although my son will say that he only sews when he gets paid to sew.
Oh no!
Yeah, yeah.
I only sew because I get paid. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. And Cindy commented and she said she loves the support and kindness that she receives at Going Batty. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Valerie says Bernina's are the best.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
Yeah,
I agree, Valerie.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we're going to let Keegan go because he's literally on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere coming home from a show. So he's still got several hours more to drive home. So thank you for taking time out to join us. We're really looking forward to the carnival at the show.
Yes. Thank you so much, Beth. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a safe drive.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we want to bring Michelle. We have Michelle Crawford on, and she's got many classes that she's going to be doing. So make sure that you get signed up for her classes because the classes are starting to sell out. So I'm just going to bring her right on, and let's see here. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Beth.
You have Flower Box Quilts, right?
That is correct. That is the name of my company. And if you are interested as a guild or show to have me come and teach to you, whether it's virtually or in person, just go to flowerboxquilts.com and all my information is on there. I've been sewing since I was a little girl. I think it was 9 years old. And I had my grandmother's featherweight. I wish I knew where it was. I used that for quite a long time until my brother, my nice brother, who's older than I am, bought me a Kenmore when I was in 6th grade, and it had cams in it. Do you remember? Maybe you're not as old as I am, but that's how you put a cam in the top of a Kenmore to change your stitches.
I've heard of the cams. I've never actually seen one.
Yeah, it was quite different. And then I eventually went up. I have a Bernina now. Also, I have a 480. And I also have a 1934 featherweight. So I like using both of them, but I've always sewn by hand or machine. I do a lot of embroidery, crocheting, knitting, sewing. I used to make Barbie clothes and my clothes. And I've always sewn. My first quilt I made when I was 19 years old. And so that would have been 1973, a long time ago. And I made it for my husband, my boyfriend at that time. And it was for his fraternity room. And it was made out of 36-inch wide gingham. And I remember using a sheet for the backing. That was something that you did back then. So, and fabric really was 36 inches wide. So it was way back when we didn't have rotary cutters. We made templates out of cereal boxes, margarine lids, anything that was strong enough to be able to cut out of. You trace them with a pencil and use scissors to cut them out. So when I remember thinking about that, I think of all the people, all the quilters from long ago, all the pioneer women who had such amazing accuracy, and they weren't using rotary cutters. They were also using templates out of whatever they had and scissors that they had. I would probably be the one that had one needle and lose it. So I wouldn't know what to do. Anyways, I will be teaching again in Reno, at Quilt Reno. I've been there before. And the quilt behind me is called Calypso. And we're going to be making either one or two of the blocks, depending on your how fast you sew and how accurate you are. I will be showcasing all my tips and techniques on accurate cutting, piecing, and pressing. And these are things that I've learned over the years. Sometimes people just want to do the process, which is fine. Some people will want to learn how to do the accurate piecing. So this is a technique class, and because we're just doing one block at a time, you can use it as a sample for a pillow or a tote bag or the back of a jacket or whatever. So you bring your own fabric and we will learn how to do it. So the block is right here. Your favorite colors, called Calypso. They're 3-hour classes. Now, the other class that I'm teaching is called Scrappy Carpenter Star. And I'm going to have to hold it up. And this block looks like this. And it is, let's see if I can get this up higher. It is a block that is using 1-inch wide strips. So again, accurate cutting, piecing, and pressing. And it's a really, really fun block to do with your scraps because we'll be making one block or two, depending on how far you go in the class. And this has a piano key border on it. And the quilt actually has 9 blocks in it. I'm going to hold it up so you can see more of it together. And by having this nice white area between the blocks, you can do a lot of really fun machine quilting. I am not a machine quilter. That's a whole nother skill I think you need to spend a lot of time and practice on. But this is a really fun quilt to do. I've done it all over the country. A lot of people love this block. And I hope you join the class. Scrappy Carpenter Star. Okay. Now, I believe that scraps should never be left behind. No scrap left behind. And, you know, however you put your scraps, or you keep them in boxes or whatever, whether you cut them into strips, with whatever you do. This is a class called Crumb Quilted Trees. And what you're doing is you're using the smallest pieces of fabric, the ones that sometimes you just kind of push off the side of your table and you don't know what to use with them, or you give them away to somebody. But what you're going to do is you're going to be making strips. So this is what one of the blocks looks like. It's improvisational quilting using the smallest pieces. And you can either make strips or you can make bigger pieces and then cut your strips out of it. Now, some people think that you need to do it on adding machine tape or paper. I don't use that. You're just sewing them together, pieces together. It's random and it's fun because there are no mistakes. I make big, huge pieces and cut them out, and it's really fun. It's something to do on that day when you want to piece, but you had a bad day and you don't know what to do. You can take 20 minutes and sit down and work on crumb quilting. And then what you're going to learn to do, because you're going to decide how far apart your blocks are, and you're going to learn how to set the fabric in between the strips. So what I also have, when you can see it, you can make this as many blocks as you want to. I just have a sample that has 12. And to make it more modern, I used white and gray to have low volume quilting. And I also did 1/4 inch quilting on either side of the strips in the angle that it was going into. And another fun thing that you can do when you're doing scrap quilts is you piece the back with whatever you have. Piecing your backs for scrap quilts allows you to use bigger pieces and use all that scrap and not throw it away. It's really, really fun to do. I love doing it. I'll bring other samples that I've done with crumb quilting, but this is a really fun, easy class to do. Sit down and have just a great, great time. This is called Crumb Quilted Quilting. Okay, The next class, scrap class that I'm teaching, again, no scrap left behind, is we're going to be doing improvisational squares. And these squares, you again are going to determine what size pieces that you're going to use. And it's a log cabin, just you can make them as big as you want, as small as you want. For this one, I made it a rainbow one. So this is orange, yellow, purple. We also have done red, blue, and green. And I did 2 of these, and they're just really fun to do. You can make them all in Christmas fabrics or Halloween fabrics. It's really fun. Again, when you're doing improvisational quilting and piecing, there are no mistakes. It's a design opportunity, and it's really fun and easy. And you can make the blocks either in 12-inch squares or 15-inch squares. The pattern that comes with it will show you how to make X amount of blocks for whatever size you want to make. And what I also did on the outside of these is I did a scrappy border. So you can see it's not just one fabric. I have all different kinds of fabrics. These were 12-inch blocks. So these strips are 12.5 inches. And it's just a fun way to use up your scraps another way, and just to do it as the binding as well as the backing. Now, these are the full-size blocks. They're fun things to do. Now what I did was I took the full-size blocks, the full-size 12-inch blocks, and I cut them diagonally into 4 pieces to make triangles. And this is what we did. So these are the blocks that I just showed you, and then we cut them apart. And then I used a design wall to make sure that I didn't have all the blues in the same spot or the reds or whatever. But this is another way to use your scraps. You're just making blocks and then cutting them apart. And there are a couple other ways to use them too. So this is called the Scrappy Log Cabin Quilt. And so I have a couple other ones that I'm doing. I'm doing some embroidery classes and some English paper piecing classes. Just go to the website, look for my name. I have 10 different classes that I'm teaching, and I hope to talk to you soon and see you. It's really fun. Quilting is so much fun to do. And I don't know if I've been reading on Facebook, you could be a quilter or you could be a fabric collector, or I'm both. So anyways, I hope you're both too, and I hope to see you at Quilt Reno. It's going to be a fun time. Beth, are you still there?
I'm still here. So,
okay.
Michelle, I've had a lot of requests recently for beginning quilting classes. Would these be good for like all skill levels?
Yeah, this one, the Scrappy Log Cabins. Yes, yes, this is a great one for beginners, and so is the crumb quilted one. These are great for all skill levels. Again, I said this one, when they're spontaneous, it's just something, if you're used to quilting and you don't, you're not in a mood to make sure all your points match, and you get frustrated. Right. Spontaneous is a great way to sit down and sew, because you're creating your own fabric with your scraps. Right. And that's what's really fun, because of the fact that you're still sewing, you're still using 1/4 inch. You can use different colors of thread on it, so you're using up your thread. And you can also use different fabrics and combine them all. So it's great. This one is more of an intermediate. This is not for a beginner, because we are matching points. And so is this one. The Scrappy Carpenter Star, because we are working with, let me get that, 1 inch wide strips. They do come out to 1/2 inch wide. So you really need to be accurate, especially on your cutting, to make them work right. So that also is more of an intermediate class, not for beginners.
Okay. But if you are an intermediate or advanced sewer, they could do any of the classes, because sometimes you just want to sit down and you want to sew and you don't really want to tax your brain matching points and things. Right. So you can have, so it's really, they've got options. They can do easy and fun, or ones that take a little bit more precision. Totally. Yeah.
That's why this or the crumb quilting one, I have done them with my grandkids because they're easy. Quarter of an inch seam allowance. When they were little, and I started my granddaughters when they were about 3, 4. And so they would pick the fabrics. We would make sure that the edges were straight. They would sew them. I would press them. And as they got older, then they learned how to press also. So it's a great way to teach people how to sew. It's just really, really fun to do.
Right. Perfect. Okay. So you guys can go to quiltshowreno.com and you can click on the classes. You can go to, you can do it, I think, by time, or you can also do it by teacher's name. So you can just look up Michelle Crawford, and then it will have the whole list, real easy, of what classes she's offering and what times they're at. And are you doing any lectures? Because I know the lectures are.
No, I'm not. But all my classes are 3-hour classes.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm a quilter that is not a tool girl, so I'm not going to ask you to have any kind of unusual tool or ruler to buy. It's all really, really basic things. The only thing I remind you is when you're bringing your sewing machine, make sure you bring your foot pedal.
And your cord.
And your cord. I remember I had a student in Reno, I think the last time I was there was in 2019, who was in a morning class of mine, and she got there early to get set up, and she goes, well, do you have an extra foot pedal? No. And she said, I must have left it at home. And so she got really frantic, of course. And so and this was just that year, she ran out on the show floor and found a dealer with a machine that had one like hers and was able to borrow it.
Oh, perfect.
So make sure you bring, put a new needle in and bring all your equipment. Because it's going to be really fun. And If you're doing any of the scrap classes, please make sure you cut your fabric before you come. We don't need bolts and yards of fabric. I want you to be able to sit down and sew. So please read my materials list if you have any questions at all. On my materials list is my phone number and my email. And if you have any questions, I'd rather have you be prepared before class than have a question during class that I can't answer or you forgot something.
Well, and I know a lot of times people, it's always better if you do the homework and you get organized and you come to class, you're going to enjoy it more. If your life gets busy though, and you can't, I'm sure you're going to learn and you're going to have a great time. So no matter where you are in life, show up for the class.
I've had people who have broken their wrists the day before and come in to take the class. Please don't break your wrists, but yes. I have had people. But also I have English paper piecing. If you like, that's another way to work with scraps. Remember, no scrap left behind. I also have some embroidery classes. We're going to be embroidering a shirt, and we have some other basic hand embroidery things we're going to be doing because embroidery is really hot right now. What goes around comes around.
For sure. If you've been in the industry long enough, you've seen it all at least once before.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have a good day.
Well, thank you for joining us. And we want to thank all of you for joining us. Make sure you tune in next. Make sure you tune in next Monday, 3:00. I'm not sure who we're interviewing, but we will have a great interview. And if you haven't taken the time to check out the website, make sure that you do. We've got a lot of fun things that are happening. The rooms I know are starting to book up. So if we need to add more rooms, we're going to need to know pretty soon. So make sure you get your rooms booked and just keep a track of all the make and takes that you want to do, because I know there's a lot going on the show floor. And make sure that something else that's new is we have Nick Veros and Joe they're hosting a Project Runway fashion show Friday night. So that's something different. We want to make sure that you get your tickets so that you can see that. It's going to be a lot of fun Friday night, and it is going to be actual outfits from Project Runway. So lots of fun things happening. Make sure you plan more than just one day at the show. because if you take advantage of the make and takes and the other activities that are going on, there's lots of free stage activities where you can go get off your feet. If you've been shopping for a while, you want to take a break, you can go to the free stage. There's presentations pretty much all day long. So if you have any questions, you can always call. The website is scrolling at the bottom. Classes do start June 3rd, and then the show opens to the public on the 5th through the 7th. So Thursday through Saturday is the actual show. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week and go get some sewing done.